African owner of the poor little alpaca, Geronimo, who was, what I think was murdered yesterday by DEFRA's death squad, and also animal rights campaigner Dominic Dyer. Dominic, can I come to you now? Just before we get to a few of the details, just your thoughts on those horrific scenes yesterday. I think one of the worst aspects of it, hard to pinpoint any particularly terrible elements of a vile saga, but was the sound of poor little Geronimo screaming in terror.
Yeah, it was just awful. It was a brutal act, and it was played out in the front of the national press. So from a PR perspective, it was a disaster as well. I can't believe what the chief vet, who presumably signed this off in DEFRA, and the Secretary of State, George Eustice, who presumably informed the Prime Minister, because we know he talked about this in Cabinet, and I learned that from our discussions about Operation Ark with him last week, because he just thinks I'm going to keep coming at him on issues from one week to the next, which I am. But it's absolutely disgusting, it's barbaric, and it's horrible. And what it does, there's some serious issues here, and I think it's been summed up for me really well by Chris Packham today. Chris has used certain words, and I support them fully, and I'm just going to explain what he says in a very moving piece he's put on his Facebook. He said that basically, as far as he's concerned, this is a department that's out of control and out of accountability, and it's brutal, and it's being run by industry lobby groups that have no interest in animal welfare and animal protection. So this department, this Department of State DEFRA, which is meant to protect the environment and have animal welfare at its heart, actually is a cruel killing machine to a large degree, run by industrial lobby groups. And the civil servants have been bullying and intimidating Helen for years. And they're doing this because they want to cover up their tracks for all the incompetence, negligence, and deceit at the heart of this bovine TB policy that costs hundreds of millions of pounds, that is leading to great economic problems, social economic distress for farmers because they have to kill their cows in significant numbers, before they end their productive life, and also obviously because alpaca owners, as we know with Helen, and llamas, so they have a problem because the tests are ineffective, and we know there's numerous other alpacas and llamas that have been tested under these tests, and when they've been post-mortem because they were believed to have TB, we find they don't. So there's a lot of suffering here for the farming industry. And on the other tail end of that, you've got the 140,000 badgers we've killed so far. And the government is about to launch into another round of badger culling, probably with at least 5 new licenses coming in the next week or so. This whole policy stinks.
Yeah.
Well, and it goes beyond politics. It goes to the heart of the civil service, the officials. The officials are every bit to blame, probably worse than the politicians. The politicians are generally cowards. They hide behind the officials. They hide behind the lawyers. And the reason they did this was because the system stinks so much. It's a big pile of manure. It smells horrible. But if they don't kill this alpaca, then what are they going to say to all the farmers when they happen to go and kill their cows? That's what the NFU said to them. You've got to go and kill Helen's animal, because if you don't kill that animal, then how do you expect our farmers to accept that you want to kill their cattle as well? But the whole system is rubbish, and it needs to be sorted out. And what Helen did was make a stand, a very bold and strong stand, to say she was going to help everyone by actually focusing attention on the inaccuracy of the TB tests, why we need new tests that the government are actually consulting on at the moment. They haven't completed that. For some bloody reason, they haven't finished it, and I don't know why. And on just one final point, I'm doing a debate tomorrow with Charles Moore of The Spectator, because I've been asked to join him about, discussing the whole animal welfare lobby, which, I'm believed to be a crucial part of now in government, so be it. And he thinks I'm a problem. I think I'm actually part of the solution. And I'll say this, Helen and Penn are very similar in many ways. They're bold, courageous people that have inspired the nation, and they have significant support from people who actually vote Conservative and the Conservative media. So Boris Johnson has to be very worried tonight, because a government that has pledged that it's going to be a world leader in animal welfare has dragged off this animal and killed it in the eyes of the media and the public at a time when there was no justification for it in the most horrific way. And also it's been trying to smear a hero, Penn Farthing, that you've been talking with me about for the last 2 weeks. Not a good look, not a good move, and hugely damaging. And so there's some really serious issues that they've got to get control of now.
I agree. Now, I think, the crux of this sort of came in 2001. Do you remember the foot and mouth outbreak when suddenly we unnecessarily, it transpired, slaughtered 6 million cows and sheep and then put them on those revolting bonfires with all their legs sticking up in the air so you could smell the aroma of roasting meat for thousands of miles around. It was horrible. And DEFRA and our approach to animals seems to be that our default setting is, if in doubt, kill them. Now, let's preface this final part of our discussion by reminding ourselves that last night Dr. Ian McGill, a veterinary surgeon and expert in bovine TB, told us that in his expert opinion, Geronimo did not have bovine TB. We await the post-mortem tests, but I'm getting loads of texts and tweets saying, well, how could he have a terrible disease? Look at he seemed to be so healthy. Everybody could see that animal was not ill, and yet, Helen, they had to put him to death.
Yep, they wanted to kill him. That was easiest for them. Get me to shut up and get him off their desks. They didn't have to worry about it. All the threats, all the politicians we've been through, the various ministers, we've had 2 prime ministers, 3 secretaries of state, and nobody has had the courage to look at the science. Christine Middlemiss is still lying about the fact that she actually said yesterday he was infected. You can't tell that unless you've got a positive culture result. Now, they did a post-mortem yesterday afternoon, so I'm told, and yet I still do not know what they found in there. I don't know where they took him. I don't know how they killed him or whether he suffocated and was strangled. I know nothing at all, and they were supposed to respond to us by 5 o'clock.
So you don't even know how he was put down?
Nope. Nope.
Did they ever give you any indication on how they might do it? I mean, I assumed it would be some sort of injection, the way they put a dog down.
I was advised it would be lethal injection on farm. That's what I was advised, and that's what vets should have done. And those vets didn't know how to handle him. They didn't know how to deal with them. Their police were running around everywhere. They breached my biosecurity. They didn't speak to anyone on site. It was an absolute disaster, an absolute disgrace.
Can I ask both of you, on a sort of philosophical level, what has surprised me over the past couple of weeks with Pen Farthing and Operation Ark? And of course, Geronimo was always there in the background and has come tragically to the foreground again now. It's just how many people, I mean, to be fair, I think the vast majority of these people in this country are genuine animal lovers. They wanted Pen and Operation Ark to succeed. They wanted Geronimo to survive. But I'm also dismayed by the number of people who are almost dancing on the grave of Geronimo. So it had to die, had to die. Oh, why prioritise pets over people? Those dogs should have stayed in Afghanistan. We have a very conflicted attitude to animals. Some people seem to feel that we human beings, the superior creatures, and therefore we are better than them, and their welfare is not as important as ours. I don't quite understand that. Do you?
Well,
Please.
I was just going to say, since Geronimo has been killed, everyone seems to have come out the woodwork with an opinion on TB. Now, nobody knows the facts apart from the documentation that's in my legal team. You know, the facts are the facts. The scientists know the facts, and the officials know the facts. We know they lied. We know that they've been lying for 4 years. But we've got all these little armchair warriors saying, "Oh, well, he's failed 2 tests. He must have disease." What utter rubbish! So to those people, I say, you know, get your facts straight.
Yeah.
Bring me up. Ask me some questions. But don't sit there making judgments about stuff you know absolutely nothing about.
Absolutely. That's why I keep telling people that the whole issue revolves around whether or not Geronimo actually had bovine TB. Yeah. There's a good case for saying he definitely didn't. None of us would support allowing an animal out there with this dangerous disease. But, you know, Geronimo looked as healthy as hell yesterday. And as you've told me in the past, Helen, he spent all his time gambolling around the fields, mucking around with the other animals. So, you know, he wasn't sick. Last word to you, Dominic. Our attitude to animals.
To animals. Well, you know, this is what I'm going to be debating with Charles Moore tomorrow, and you'll see it on YouTube. It should be an interesting discussion. But Charles's point is that, you know, we are a threat by having a view that animals have equal rights to humans. My view is that animal welfare is just like the sort of debate about slavery, civil rights, universal suffrage. You know, you look back at it and say, why were we not thinking this was the right thing to do? We should be proud of the fact we're caring and compassionate. The people you hear from generally are opinionated and want to be heard. But they're not the majority. I think the majority of people in this country, because I know enough about that, having done all the work I do, care deeply about the relationships with their companion animals, care deeply about being compassionate to nature and animals around them. And I think it makes us better people. So I think we got behind Helen because we knew it was the right thing to do. We got behind Penn because we knew it was the right thing to do. And I've been privileged over the last month of my life to spend quite a bit of time working with both of these people and going out in the media and supporting them. And I can think of no better people in this country today that are courageous, integrity, and that determination to fight with government if necessary to do what is right. And that's what makes us good as a nation, and we should keep that in mind. And that's why I think this case is so important. We will change what DEFRA does, and Penn will change the way we think about animals because of what he has done. And no one in the Ministry of Defence, no one in DEFRA is going to get in the way of that. No minister, no senior officials, no political advisors. If they think they're going to silence us, think they're going to stop us, they've got another thing bloody coming, because they're definitely not.
They'll never stop you, Dominic. By the way, it's been a privilege for me to cover both of these stories. Very, very quickly, Helen, because we've just run out of time. What are you going to do about DEFRA? Are you going to sue them? Are you going to take legal action? What's your next step?
First of all, we need to get the information that we need from them regarding Geronimo's post-mortem. Depending on their behaviour is really what happens next. But yeah, there are legal options. We haven't really got to that point yet. He was only murdered yesterday.
Yeah, of course so.
But rest assured, we will not be taking this line down. I've fought for 4 years. I wanted a healthy animal. George Eustace needs to resign, and Boris Johnson, if he doesn't resign, needs to sack him.
Well said. Helen, once again, very sorry for your loss. Thank you again, Dominic Dyer and Helen.